Joyously, I proclaim your holy name. The battle will be waged in prayer, the conquest of my soul complete. All victory leads me back to God. I am free forevermore. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. Love you. Have a good day. I love you.
So it's the Western Standard on Facebook that's covering the Coots border. There's a live feed on the Western Standard on Facebook. Just wanted to repeat that in case anyone missed it.
I think that's the best thing about this entire protest is getting to see all the trucks. You know, like I get to see the big trucks and the small trucks, and then the red ones, and then the big blue ones.
Hey, if you guys need more moderators on here, I'm just got done work.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. There is some update here in Western Park. As you can see, there are this video that is up. As you can see, those trucks are coming in the border, as you can see. So these are the trucks that are coming from the US going to Canada. So, and there is another live feed from Western Standard that are covering that those truckers were been arrested by the RCMP. So it was not detailed of what is happening there. So probably we could listen to this beautiful young lady. Let's see what is happening there. Okay, we can listen. Probably we can listen to them. Where's the audio? Come on, audio.
Yeah, and I think one of the other arguments that I've heard quite a bit too is the idea that even the exemptions are being ignored, whether this is, you know, a religious stand and a religious belief, you know, deeply held, that you do not put something like this into your body, or even a lot of the medical exemptions have also been ignored for, you know, there's lawsuits happening right now as we speak, excuse me, for people who had medical exemption. And this is kind of the argument, is that most medicine is never a sort of a one size fits all approach. You know, everybody responds differently to things, you know, and so to again approach the mandates as this is the blanket solution for everybody needs it, everybody must have it, whether, you know, I know of people whose doctors have said you could die from having this injection based on some of the ingredients that we know of, and we don't know all of the ingredients. So that's also a bit of an issue when we're talking about something that is still in an experimental phase. But you could die, and then the response is, well, let's see how you do with the first dose. I think for a lot of people, not willing to take on that risk, and like you said, James, this is that's where, if there's risk involved, a mandate should never be in place.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just that's the whole point. Is that we've reached this point where people have stood up and said, no, I'm sorry, that is not within the acceptable level of risk that I'm willing to tolerate, and to lose your job.
Okay, so they're discussing about COVID, which is about the mandate, or what about so so these people are arrested by the RCMP. So maybe later on, let's see what are those updates on that side. Let's see what is happening here in Ottawa. So as we can see, still there, the people are uh, walking in the street. Maybe it's cold, but it's not cold as last Saturday. So we were there last Saturday. So actually, uh, my my hands, my feet is frozen. But let us listen to this uh, live stream in Ottawa. Uh, what is all about? By the way, actually, those horns, they were instructed to horn every 30 minutes, at least 10 minutes, imagine. So I could not, I could not imagine some people, maybe their house is not uh, soundproof. Probably they will hear their horning, the so maybe they were irritated or what. So we don't know. We don't know if these people in Ottawa are irritated already, or they just find it okay. So I don't know. So probably we're planning to go back in Ottawa, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. So we will see, because according to them, this thing should be done, but it's already Tuesday. So, and the their fight is ongoing. Actually, I'm monitoring also on their chat. Uh, there are some people talking. Probably you heard something. Uh, Actually, I cannot say which channel, but there are some people talking, telling what is happening. Maybe we could listen it. Updates.
Block that Reddit trash, the Antifa Reddit Antifa trash.
Hey, I was wondering, I haven't been on Zero all day long. Is the plus plus channel still running?
Okay, again. So there were, I know, I don't know, I cannot say that they were divided, or are they fighting as one or what? I don't know. So here's it. live stream also the border from the US to Canada. So there are some trucks that are piled up already there. Not stranded. They were not stranded. They were stuck because probably because of the checking of the vaccine, blah 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 blah. Oo. So let's say listen to this live stream. Somebody is giving pizza. Can you give me one? No, I'm just kidding. By the way, we are live also in YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So these people are continuing doing live for people to be updated because there's a lot of news that they were already dismantled. They were already told to go, but as you can see, still that they're on the way on their protests.
Let me just do one time. Yo, what's your Instagram? Thank you. Hey, 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 hey. We stand on God. Oh Shout out to these two guys right here. Follow me around, be my camera guy. Hell yeah.
So there's another view from Ottawa Walks. So he's roaming around and then taking videos with cars that are parked along the side of the street. So let me see what he's talking about, and we will listen. So let's on. Mm-hmm. Nothing so important. So let's listen to the radio.
Do not fear the enemy, for they can only take your life. Fear the media far more.
You know what I think we need to hear right now? I think what would be best is if we heard from the kids. Let's hear something from the kids.
I personally don't want to hear from the kids.
Okay, mods, listen up. I think anybody else that gets admitted to the channel has to have a picture, an appropriate picture for the channel, okay, mods? So if you don't see a picture, they don't get slotted in.
Can someone direct me on how to add a photo, please? I'm all new to this.
No photo, no.
Go, Chucker, go! go to the people on the upper screen. I'm speaking off of Android, and find your name and then click on it, and you can click on the little picture icon and add your picture from your library.
So these are the truck that are piled up here in the street. Actually, I seen these trucks when I was there last Saturday. So, okay. Mm-hmm. So, what's happening? The accident.
So as far as my eye can see, still see a lot of trucks lined up. But the ground does dip down, so can't see past that. We'll turn around here and head back.
I believe these are all police vehicles to my left and right. They've all got lights. Yeah, they must be. 812. A lot of police presence here. Let's go check out the party. All right, looks like we're at another party here. Got loud music. No one's on it now.
Okay, so some sounds that are not okay. So let's listen to the chatters.
Are you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Hey guys, can anybody see my profile picture?
Is there a way we could just maybe show them quickly to the mods?
I saw your profile picture.
Yeah, the whole license thing is a little weird.
So we're not uploading pictures of our license because I'm about to do it.
Do not upload any pictures of any personal information about you or anyone else. Keep all your personal information 100% confidential, please.
I love all the cast guys. It's really upping the morale.
You know, again, more calls for
What if we
Kenny
just blanked out our
to
address and crap?
come down, come meet with the protesters, meet with the organizers of the blockade, speak to them, negotiate with them, participate in this. A lot of people calling that this is something that they think should happen. Drop the mandates and the truckers move is another thing that I have seen quite a few people. Brad has posted this. Quite a few other people have said the same thing. Simple solution: drop the mandates. This gets the borders open. This gets the trucks out of Ottawa. You know, this is where people are making their stand.
You know, Mel, I've never seen a government move with a gun to its head before. So, you know, I would love to see all of the mandates dropped. I would love to see us get back to normal. But when has the government ever negotiated in a protest like situation? But I mean, they are right. There is an absolute vacuum for political leadership. You know, we haven't seen we've seen one MLA make his way down to the protest on the first day on Saturday. That MLA has shown his support, but you know, there's no politicians here that are negotiating. There's no politicians here that are talking to their electorate. There's one mayor of the village of Coots who's been you know, trying to bridge things between the community and the protesters and the RCMP. But we just haven't seen anybody say, we're listening to you. And I think that's one of the things that we've seen consistently, especially across Alberta, is that Albertans just don't feel listened to by their government, and they don't feel represented. And I think that this type of situation could be de-escalated through simple conversation. I'm just moving back here down the line, just showing you the protesters now, the farmers and the ranchers and the farm equipment. They've actually cleared it and they've started moving back now. So I'm leaving the scale now and driving back to the original blockade point. And from what I can see, it looks like they are now opening up the original blockade area. So I'm just going to move back here and take a look. So I'm just moving back to the entrance here into Coots, into the community. I'm just trying to see where I can make my way around this truck here. But the original blockade part now, sorry, he's actually moving out of my way. The pinch point here that has been the conflict area now appears to be clear. The original vehicles that were pulled across the lanes and the drivers that were dug in and said they were not leaving, it looks like now that they have opened up this intersection and the trucks are no longer across here. So just like 2 hours
So
ago,
what does that mean though, James? Help me out though. What does that mean that they've cleared that intersection? Does that mean that they are allowing the cross-border trucks coming through at this point, or what does that mean?
No, it looks like they were pulled directly across the highway here. It now looks like they've lined up 3 trucks wide, and it's still stopped. The RCMP helicopters back up in the sky here now, you can see. And just beyond them are more RCMP vehicles. And if you take a look here, here's kind of what's left of the initial blockade. So it actually looks like they're putting fuel and charging some batteries on some of these trucks. These trucks have been here since Saturday afternoon. These trucks, the convoy was making its way in a circle. They were traveling from this intersection right here where I'm at, back down to the other side of the scale, and they were traveling in a circle and just slowing things down. And at a certain point, they pulled across this intersection and locked things down. It looks like the bulk of the vehicles that were here earlier have now vacated the area. And if you take a look, they're boosting batteries. This was one of the concerns with the cold temperature and the lack of fuel, that some of these trucks would die and become immobilized. It looks like they're now boosting each other and moving the trucks out of the area. I'm just going to check the southbound lanes here and take a look and see what's happened here. Now this area here, there's been different spots where they have kept the lane open. At the start of the RCMP advancing towards the blockade, they pulled into these areas and started blocking things off. It looks like now that these protesters have now moved their trucks and opened up the area, and you can get through here no problem. As you can see, I'm driving through here. now this has basically been open like this for the entire time. I've been able to drive in and out of the protest area, the protest site, without any problems for the entire 4 days now. And just taking a look here, everything's completely open. The farm equipment has withdrawn. It looks like they're moving back to the saloon in Coots. It looks like everybody's getting warm. There's still a few pickups and whatever else here, but the situation looks like it's de-escalating significantly now.
You had mentioned that a
they're
lot of
starting
those
to boost vehicles.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that the boosting of the trucks and vehicles and whatnot, is that a result of the fact that it's been blocked off at the checkpoints from the RCMP for deliveries of the diesel and the propane and the things that the truckers were in need of? Is that still the case, and that's why we're running into this now?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that this morning that when I was talking to the truckers, when they were having a meeting there this morning, they did have some concerns that some of the trucks wouldn't be able to move because the batteries had died and that they couldn't get fuel in. It does look like they are pumping fuel into some of the vehicles now and boosting the vehicles and moving them out of here. They've opened up the area significantly, and you can drive the entire protest site now completely impeded. So that's changed quite significantly. There's obviously still like this piece of equipment right here. It's completely across the highway. So there's no real access there around it, but of course you can drive up the other side without any vehicles being in the way.
A couple of things I was going to just note here. First of all, a comment from Heidi. This is not at all hurting the movement. It's absolutely necessary. She says, tough times call for tough measures. There comes a time that we have to do hard things. The federal government felt that instead of respecting the precious Charter of Rights of Canadians, they should unpeacefully force job loss and force medical procedures. We now need to push back and use forceful but peaceful measures to make the government listen and act. So regardless of how this looks, there comes a time when we have to do these kinds of things. Now, someone else, Adela, says MSM Media is spinning this to turn people against the Freedom Convoy. Speaking of that spin, we came across some footage earlier of one of the mainstream media outlets reporting on some of the truckers that were upset with being stuck in the convoy, and those truckers were saying they didn't agree with what was happening, and also had said they didn't feel safe when they were questioned. They said they didn't feel safe. However, we also have footage of the same truckers participating in dancing. They were playing music and dancing, and it looked like they were perhaps having some beverages. They were partaking in the food that was set out for them. And in one video, one of the truckers who had said they didn't feel safe was seen making a donation of what looked like perhaps a few 20s in a pile to the organizers to contribute to some of the food that they had been supplied and whatnot, and were contributing to what they said was the cause. So I find that kind of interesting that in one video they are being interviewed by mainstream media and sort of expressing their concern for their safety, but other video we have, and we will have that up for you here shortly on the website. We have video of those exact same
Yes, there we go. So some truckers are being moved by the RCMP from Cuts border blockades. So meaning this event, it's not only happening in Ottawa, but it's also happening from border to borders. So they're demanding to remove the mandates about this vaccine because they were traveling for how many years now, and some people are having vaccine, but some people don't have. So perhaps it's their choice. We cannot, let's say, we cannot enforce them, enforce it to them because uh, maybe it's not good for them. Okay, so let's listen to the press conference of the leaders of this convoy. So this press conference happened, I think, yesterday. So let us listen to it.
Why we omitted certain news agencies, and I guess I should cover this, from this press conference, including the Toronto Star and CBC, who were banned from this press conference. And the reason they were banned is twofold. First, this entire week, the CBC, Toronto Star, Yahoo News was retweeting and reposting, and a few others, kept putting stories out that our GoFundMe was frozen or suspended because of nefarious reasons. Right-wing truckers, that was the dangerous people. And it was hysterical. Me and Tamara were talking. I remember one day when the Toronto Star story came out that GoFundMe has frozen the account, and I called her, and I said, everything okay? She's like, yeah, I just got off the phone with them 45 minutes ago. They're great. They're helping out. Everything's going to be sorted out. That was purely just a fake story. And was that fake story to sabotage the donations that were coming in? Probably. We'll see a lot of that in media. And then when the Toronto Star put that cartoon that Jordan Peterson put up, that sort of extremism, we're not going to tolerate. So we know if we had invited the Toronto Star, CBC, all these mainstream news organizations, they always do, and Kean, I'm sure you've seen it many, many times. They'll come in with 5 people, and they'll have these giant cameras, and they'll take up half the floor space and bully everybody else. And that's not what this is about. This is about us coming together, talking to one another, answering any questions that you have. If we have the answer, we'll tell you. If we don't have the answer, we'll tell you. We don't know. And just have a nice conversation with each other. And go from there.
Can I ask, what's the status of the truckers? I had heard that not all of them got to the Hill yesterday. Some are stuck outside of the city still. What's going on? Where are they sitting? Are they well fed? What's going on?
The problem is when people ask the truckers, which truckers? There's so many convoys coming from different places. We've all lost track of them. There's a couple of convoys coming from Quebec alone, one that's coming from the Maritimes, a few from Western Canada, and they all got separated. I don't know if you saw the drone footage of the trucks, how many tens of miles long, and they were sitting for hours and hours just to make a right turn. So sections of them decide, okay, we'll turn around, we'll take a different route. And the Canadian infrastructure couldn't handle the number of truckers that were coming in mass in one direction. So that gives an idea of how many there were. We did have that issue last night where the truckers were held over on the highway and they couldn't get into Ottawa. Last I heard, it was getting resolved. Do you know the status of it?
I was speaking with the guys. A lot of them were able to get turned around, went back up to the truck stop, regroup.
Okay.
They're going to be coming back in smaller groups apparently.
Okay, yeah. So that's yes, no, all answers all at once. There's just such an overwhelming number of trucks that it's become a logistics nightmare, which is great. That's what we want. We want a logistics nightmare for the government because they solve all our problems, right? Well, they can solve this problem for us then.
This is an easy way to fix this.
Yeah,
super easy.
How long do you guys plan on staying in Ottawa? How long will this go? Is it till you get what you want?
Well, it's going to be summer soon, right? So right now, yeah, it's really cold, but we hang in there. The days are going to get longer. We can take this block party and put it in overdrive, have some dancing outside in the heat. So we're in this from the long haul.
More
We
than
don't
2
have a
weeks.
time limit. The thing is with trucks, it's interesting because they're designed to be on the road, especially the long haul ones, for an indefinite period of time. As long as you keep fuel in them, they can sit there for weeks and months. And now we have, I don't know, $8 million?
It's probably over 8.5 now.
So $8 million worth of fuel, so I don't know, 2023, 2024, I guess we can do. Right?
All right, those are my questions.
Next.
Andrew Lawton, True North. Since you brought up the money, what are your costs at this point that have been spoken for of the GoFundMe?
Well, we'll be using it primarily to pay some of these truckers. A lot of these truckers have lost their jobs and have nothing, right? So it's going to be primarily for that. And I guess we're going to have to look at rooms. If we have to stay, we may need some rooms and food and stuff like that. That's what it's primarily designed for. When we set it up, it was to cover the cost of the journey. So, yeah, primarily fuel. That's probably one of the biggest.
I mean, there's all sorts of other expenditures
Yeah.
that will occur. So, for example, trucks do have regular things that occur. They may have GPS sensors or whatever it might be. That's why we say cost of the journey in the GoFundMe, because there's going to be some sort of miscellaneous costs we never even anticipated. One thing's for sure, the money's not for us. We're not touching it. This is for them. They're the ones who are making the sacrifice. They're the ones who are sitting there in their truck overnight and starting it every few hours to get some heat in the cabin. That's where the money's going.
Is any of it going to compensate truckers who have not been able to work or are not working because they're partaking in the convoy?
I guess that's to be determined. It depends if they're involved or their level of involvement in the journey coming here, right? That's really the primary focus. We also never anticipated that we would have this amount of engagement and support and donations. It's given us a little bit of flexibility, primarily allowing us to take over, to take this movement and extend it. Originally you get 20 grand, you get a few trucks, you come here, you hang out for a few weeks, you send a message to the government. But now, for us, for blue collar people, this is kind of endless resources when it's focused just on that primary goal of fueling them, keeping them fed. A lot of it's keeping them fed. Most of these trucks, they have a house attached to them, so they have a fridge. They have protein bars and foods and non.
Okay, let's fix this one. Probably something is happening. I don't know. Probably.
Also in the Liberal Party.
Okay.
That's why you notice they were floating stories about, well, maybe Chrystia Freeland would be the new leader. Good God, would be just as bad, if not worse. But at least there's some sort of shift. They're testing in terms of messaging. Is it time to get rid of Prime Minister Blackface? I mean, Trudeau.
Are you guys pleased? Maxime Bernier has sort of had a rally here in downtown Ottawa today. Are you associated with him at all? Are you pleased with the support he's given the convoy? What's your thoughts on the?
We're not associated. We took a vote as an organization. All the committee heads are the organizers, and we are not partisan. We had he reached out to us, and a couple other ones reached out to us and wanted to get up and speak, and we said no. That's not what we're about. This is a grassroots movement, and no politicians are going to represent us. I mean, they're kind of the reason we're in this mess in the first place.
And the last thing we want is to have this whole idea of unity amongst Canadians from across the political spectrum and the cultural spectrum, to have that be detonated by politicization. So we're trying to avoid that. This is for Canadians, not for political parties.
When Parliament resumes this week, are you guys expecting that the convoy that's clogging up Wellington is going to cause them any difficulties? Do you expect the Liberals to even show up to work when you guys are here? Will the Conservatives, have you any idea?
Well, I think on the Liberal side, you'll see our strong leaders hide behind Zoom, which is funny, an app that Google and Tesla said they will not allow on their platforms because it's spyware from the Chinese government. Yet our government is using it. Anyways. But so I anticipate them hiding behind Zoom, and the Conservatives, I anticipate them slowly trickling out. I have had people in the Conservative Party reach out to me, MPs who I've known for quite some time, quietly, we're supportive, and I'm like, that's great. You can get out there and show yourself and show that you're a leader, because you don't have a leader right now. So that, by the way, that would be my message to the Conservative Party. We all know Aaron O'Toole. Great. We look forward to meeting the leader of the Conservative Party.
Could I just, so I can get it on tape,
Yep.
you guys state your names and your organization?
Sure.
Tamara Leach, Freedom Convoy, Freedom Convoy 2022. Organizer, one of the co-organizers.
Can I spell your name?
Yes, of course. It's TAMARALICH.
Benjamin Victor. And I don't know, just a guy, drives a truck. Do a few other things, but that's primarily my focus here.
Where did you come from?
Ontario, from Toronto. Chris Barber.
Come on.
I'm a business owner, trucking company owner in Saskatchewan, cross border. The guy that put all this kind of together with a few other people, but
Something is happening, so sorry.
Barber, B-A-R-B-E-R.
And just one more question.
They locked it.
Okay, something.
Kind of on a specific topic, but in general, I know a lot of people have kind of given up on humanity in general over the course of all this. But for myself personally, like on the convoy out here at the stop, seeing people going around giving out boxes and boxes of party sandwiches, bags made up, like it had us in tears, bags with kids drawing notes for the truckers and writing them letters on cookies. Like
It was so moving.
Really
And we
was.
were, that's going to make me emotional, but we had so many people that would come up and hug us and just say, tell their stories about how they've lost everything, or their mother died alone, or, this lady, she was from Ontario. She had a 12-year-old boy who has muscular dystrophy, and he was rapidly losing the mobility in his hips because he couldn't go to a swimming pool for his swimming therapy.
Oh.
But underneath all those stories that are so heartbreaking is just this determination and this resilience, right, of the Canadian people. And I mean, we've already won, because look at all those people out there. Yesterday, I've never seen so many smiles, right? Everyone's got hope again, and everyone's feeling pride to be a Canadian again, which is something that we haven't felt for so long, which is really important. So in that sense, we've already won.
Do you think this was more of a cultural moment in Canadian history than it was political?
Absolutely.
Opposed the vaccine mandates for
not necessarily vaccines.
We'll be clear, we're not
You're not
anti-vax,
anti-vaccine.
no, not at all.
Okay.
It's been a narrative that's been put out since the start.
Yeah, I'm fully vaccinated.
You're fully
I am.
vaccinated. Okay.
So,
And so you're just opposed to the vaccine mandates. So my question is, for a lot of these truckers, there's a lot of cross-border trucking that happens between the U.S. and Canada. And so how are you, they're going to need to prove that they're vaccinated when they go into the U.S. So how are you dealing with that issue?
well, what I explained when I was on Tucker Carlson,
Okay.
From some of our sources, that the U.S. government, the Biden administration, had zero interest in this program. It was the Trudeau government that lobbied and reached out to the Biden
Every
administration
time
and
we meet
encouraged
with
them
people,
to adopt this process, this platform, just like in Canada. So the Americans have us to thank for it. And as I explained, we don't know. Everybody's trying to figure out, people on the inside, what were the terms of the deal? Why is the U.S. accommodating Canada? We don't know. Are they sharing data amongst each other? Is stuff being funneled to the NSA, and they're going to use that to create a Canadian database? We don't know.
Well, while the Supreme Court struck down Biden's mandate about a couple of weeks ago, that's not going to apply to Canadian truckers. They'll still have to show proof of vaccination when they enter the U.S. So how then, are they, I'm just trying to understand how your opposition to vaccine mandates then applies to what truckers are going to be confronted with when they go to the U.S.
Well, I think what you'll see is there will be, once things change here, the mandate and the passport is removed from Canada.
Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think Justin Trudeau will have a change of heart?
If he wants to eat, yeah, because this is the supply chain saying we're not doing it. And I think once that change happens here, that will just be further motivation for the United States. I mean, all they're doing is the Biden administration is making the opposition stronger. And we know who that opposition is, and we don't want to say that word because the mainstream media will lose their mind. But they're just making that opposition stronger.
Can I interject something here? Just as well, you just mentioned the supply chain. The trucking industry is the supply chain at the end of the day. About 60% of everything across the border carried by trucks. All your food carried by trucks. You got a phone? It was in a truck at some point. Before the pandemic, and this goes back more than 5 years, the trucking supply chain itself in Canada was suffering. They can't get parts, they can't get tires, they can't get electronics. The price of this stuff is going through the roof, and a good deal of it is because Chinese mainland companies control most of the parts industry now. Brake drums for a Class 8 truck are getting hard to find. Tires are hard to find. All the little black boxes that make the three main computers on a Class 8 truck work are becoming impossible to find. Also, the cost. It used to be $20 for a headlamp, and a truck driver and a Phillips screwdriver, the number 3 bit. 20 minutes, $20, and he goes. Now, if he blows a headlamp, he's got to go into the dealer, spend $1,000 Canadian for a headlamp assembly with an LED module and a wiring harness to replace it, and he can't do it himself. So I did an interview with Richard Surrett on Saga 690 AM. It's been posted on the internet if you want to go look for it. And we explained in detail how the trucking industry in Canada is being slowly strangled. And the single biggest problem is parts are not available, and the parts are phenomenally expensive.
And I'll give you a direct,
and this is China's hand on them.
I'll give you a direct example. I just blew my turbo last month on my truck, which happens over time. I got the last turbo in the entire province, and normally it would have been X number of thousands of dollars. It was 20% more, and it was the only one I could get. So what a lot of us have been doing as well is any sort of foreseeable maintenance we would need in the next year, we're just buying it now and either stocking it or putting it on the truck now because we don't know if we're going to be able to get parts, 6 months from now.
And this problem is 5 years old. The pandemic just made it worse.
I do have a question. In Quebec, we've seen some of the worst mandates anywhere in the world, really. I've noticed there's a lot of Quebecers out protesting today and yesterday. What's been the response from like the Quebec trucking industry? Have you noticed it's been stronger than you expected?
Yes, and I was in Massachusetts last week, and I was at a destination waiting for an hour, 2 hours, and there was another Canadian, a Quebec trucker who came in, so we ended up having coffee together in his cab. He's like, his English was okay. He's like, I need to practice English. Come. But yeah, he was telling me how ridiculous that province is. The lunatic that is running that province. Aviva Prize and covering this online. The guy's got to be thrown out of office and be charged on crimes against humanity. Absolutely unacceptable. But yeah, the entire truck industry in Quebec has been very, very supportive. That's why we had a convoy coming from there.
Yeah.
And because of him, we have him to thank, I believe, for the extent of the unification of Quebecers with the rest of Canada, with Albertans. You know how many times I saw people from Alberta and Quebec yesterday just coming together, talking with each other? It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
We were at the Chateau Laurier yesterday chanting Liberté, Liberté. And so, here's a bunch of Anglos, a bunch of people from Ontario standing next to Quebecois folks with an Alberta flag chanting Liberté. And it's kind of like, wow, that was Canadian. And a guy holding a Quebec flag with a hockey stick. I almost died.
And what's so amazing about it is, I grew up in Toronto.
Yeah.
I live in downtown Toronto. I always had family in Alberta, in Calgary. We've discussed it before. But I always loved going to Quebec.
Yeah.
So I was always in this weird sphere where I'd go to see my family in Alberta, and they go, oh, Toronto thinks it's the center of the world, and Quebec wants all the transfer payments. All of that is dying now. And they're realizing that it's these lunatics in our government that are causing all of it. But all of us on the ground, yeah, we have cultural differences, but we respect our cultural differences. And they're features. They're features that we can, embrace of each other. So, yeah.
One of the ironies of this is that truckers from Quebec are going to be a part of a Canadian cultural moment where we reestablish unity in Canada.
That's right.
If that doesn't bend your mind, I don't know what will.
I have another question. I've been looking at Twitter a lot, and those who oppose the convoy, they'll call you guys the Karen convoy. They'll be like, well,
they're so funny.
No, they'll say, why don't they just take the vaccine? Why, from the conversations you've had, why for these people, why do you think it's their choice, is so unfortunate? What would you have to say to people who simply, have trouble understanding why somebody is choosing?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. Firstly, there's not one reason. We're all individuals, so people have different reasons for it, right? I have friends who had the first vaccine, and they had this major adverse reaction, and they had started getting bruises all over them. They went to their doctor, and their doctor said, you know what, just don't take the next one. I'm not sure why, let's just hold on. So there's those people. Then there's other people that I know, like the guy who broke the story on the convoy, Mark Petroni. He was the first one ever to cover it, remember?
Yeah.
He would get vaccinated, but he's not going to have the government to tell him what to do. No, I am my own autonomous person. So there's a whole bunch of variables and different reasons why people who don't get the vaccine haven't gotten it, and that's their choice.
So Benjamin, how much support did you receive from the different communities from Canada, Mexican communities, especially those who escaped, from the totalitarian governments and come to Canada and feel like, oh, things are changing also in Canada?
What's crazy is the primary communities, because it's not just one, that have been supportive of us from a geopolitical and human rights standpoint has been people who came here from Eastern Europe. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people from Eastern Europe descent, whether they're from Poland or Belarus or whatever, that are in the trucking industry. We think, oh, that's just your average white Canadian. No, talk to him. Hear his accent. He's from Eastern Europe. And those people haven't forgotten socialism and the direction that we're going down, and they're the most concerned. So you see all the videos on social media yesterday from the Sikh community. There's all these Sikh people saying, I want my freedom. I came to Canada for freedom. I'm not giving up my freedom so easily. And call me a white supremacist sort of thing, and mocking the Twitter bots.
Have you had substantial support from that community? Because I saw on Twitter a lot of people trying to debunk that, saying, sure, there's 60% of the trucking industry here in Canada, but most of them are vaccinated and they're not part of this protest. What do you have to say to that?
I don't know. I think that's more of the media narrative, which can be summarized with "Don't believe your lying eyes," right? And there's so many people from these various communities that want basic freedoms in Canada. That's what we came here for. Justin Trudeau, that's your identity. Freedom. That's what these people are telling you. And those have been some of the most powerful voices to remind Canadians that that is our fundamental.
I have been struck by the diversity of people who've shown up, children, young, old, people of color, black, white, Chinese, Canadian, you name it. I've seen everybody there. But also we've had some reports of some problematic photos that have been circulating on social media of someone walking around with a Confederate flag and someone else walking with a swastika on a flag. What do you have to say to that? Are those people part of your movement?
Okay, so first thing, Chris is Canadian. She's Métis. I'm Jewish. Okay? And I was mortified last night when I saw there's an organization called CIJA, and CIJA is run by a guy who thinks he's going to be as a liberal senator. His name is Shimon Fogel. And he'll do anything and say anything that Trudeau does to get him into that position. So I go to CIJA. These are the leaders of my community. They're pathetic. They really are. They're what's fueling anti-Semitism in Canada. Because somebody pulls up some random, we call it the hoax hate. You hear this hoax hate all the time. Oh, somebody painted a swastika on a trash can. It's backwards. Right? So they're clearly not committed to the cause. Right? Yeah, people troll, do stupid things, whatever. Who cares? But what do they do? Anytime you see something like that, the leaders of that community, they're outraged. This is disgusting. And for the rest of us, it's fueling the hate towards the rest of us. So ignore it. Really. These are political hacks that they hide behind the veil of activism for the community. And you know what they do for the community? Nothing, but make it worse for all of us. Whereas those of us, regular people, just want to come together and unify. So you want diversity? Guess what? You have diversity right here. And we don't care. Because we're just Canadian. That's it.
What about, there was reports that Antifa would be sending in instigators. Have you seen any evidence of anything like that? Anyone sent in to instigate? Like I've been telling everyone, don't take the bait just in case,
You've heard of people defacing monuments or urinating on war memorials and that sort of stuff. That's not our people.
That's not our people.
Nobody associated with that is doing it.
And the other thing that's interesting, I mentioned on stage during my speech that this news agency or national, whatever it's called, the guy who keeps messaging me, won't leave me alone. He sent me the Terry Fox controversy. What Terry Fox controversy? They put a piece of paper or a plaque or whatever. It was a printout that said mandate freedom and a Canadian flag. If you think that's controversial, I think you need to leave Canada and move to China, right? Because that is not controversial. That is the spirit of us. And guess what? There's some of us in Canada who still have a sense of humor, right?
And so this convoy, I know it's regarding the vaccine mandates in general, or in specific, but is it just for vaccine mandates or all restrictions like the masking, the work at home?
Everything.
And that's been one of the most beautiful things that we've seen here, because all these stops and all these people are coming together, and you can see them smiling, right?
Yeah.
We went through Headingley and Winnipeg, and that was still our biggest.
That's heavy,
there was thousands,
Winnipeg
and
area took
on the side of the road was some beautiful native drummers, and there was Catholic nuns and standing beside, some lovely Hutterite ladies, and these people of all these different ethnicities and cultures that are coming together. And it was moving.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
And you know what I think the CBC was upset at about the War Memorial? There was a truck parked in a certain area of the War Memorial on a pad. That's the pad that the media usually parks their trucks at. So they're probably upset that we took their parking spot.
Yeah, just by way.
Twitter, we can now report that the protesters affected by what some others have done, additional warning have said they are only watch around other protesters making it up. The My editor just wants to confirm that's true.
I saw them as we walked by this morning.
Yeah,
What?
actually.
If they what? That there are some folks from this movement have parked up next, not on the War Memorial property, but next to it, and just standing around, just keeping an eye on it.
Yeah,
I've also seen a video
This is-
happening.
Yeah, the command center sent a team just to keep an eye on it, just to make sure, because we know it's a fake news story. We're fighting two fights. One, we're fighting the Trudeau government, the mandates, and the passports. But the other is we're fighting the smears from the dirty, dirty smear merchants, otherwise known as legacy media.
Which has started right from the start.
Yeah, from the very beginning. So if there's another lesson we can all learn from this, legacy media, turn it off. Just ignore it. There's nothing true there. It's exclusively narrative journalism at this point.
Just on the note of the different community representations, I was wondering if you could speak about the Indigenous aspect on this, and not just the volume, but specifically the why. I mean, what are the issues that they're bringing to this that might be distinct from issues other communities are bringing to these mandates and restrictions?
Well, I think, for example, I connected with the clan mother when this all started from the Northwest Territories, and she was with us at the service today. Her and another clan mother from Gift Lake. And I just think that it's so important because they are such a huge part of our history. We have a prime minister who has been promising clean drinking water on these reserves since before he was elected, and still nothing's been done, right? And I think it's important. We have to support them and we have to help them, and it's time to work together. And their message needs to be heard, and their message needs to be understood.
So you would consider yourselves allies to your movement is also a movement for something greater than just the mandates.
It's for every Canadian.
Clean water and
Yes, yeah. Like we have a lot of work to do, and we've been in lockdown for so long, and people have lost so much. We have a lot of healing to do, but so do our First Nations people, and we can only do that if we do it together.
And just on the vaccine mandate in particular, I heard as a grandmother this morning had spoken a little bit about how Indigenous women in particular have significant reason to be distrustful of the government. And is that something you're hearing broadly even across different Indigenous communities?
I should have brought Noe up there.
Yeah.
She could have spoken to that actually. From her, yes, yeah. I mean, she when she was speaking this morning, she was talking about the importance of women in their culture and in all of our cultures, because we are the life givers, right? And the importance of our men to stand up for us and protect the women and the children. And we've kind of lost that. I mean, I think if you listen to what the government has been doing, what I hear from the government anyways, is they're trying to pull that family unit apart, right? Just like they're trying to pull and divide and tear so many different aspects of Canadians apart. And that's not what a leader does. A leader brings people together. If they don't destroy them and tear them apart.
Or call them names.
Or call them names. Jagmeet Singh's tweet. Oh my God.
Oh, he's irrelevant.
Right? Terrible.
Just to clarify, so you're strictly non-partisan movement, but you would like to affect politics at the margin. So in the sense that you would want to see something different happen with the Conservative Party, for example, as you mentioned earlier. Given the support that you've had, where does this take you into the future? Because do you see yourselves evolving into a political organization at some point? I mean, to effect change, you kind of have to get into politics, right? You want
To a degree. I mean, this is not going to be another political party. We're not going in that direction. But that doesn't mean we can't coalesce around the ideas of this movement of unity and be the strong voice for Canadians to put pressure on our entire political class that has failed us. They're all incompetent, right? So they're going to need a little nudge here and there. So they can sit back and try to ignore us as much as they can. And you know what's going to happen? More and more. I have media requests from all over the world. From Latin America, England, parts of Europe, Australia. They're all trying to get some sit-down time with us to talk. If they think they're going to ignore it, great. You know what? Something is going to come up in that vacuum and replace them. So if they don't realize the amount of opportunity they have to become a voice for change, then that just kind of proves my point of their incompetence. But somebody will. What we want is we want a good, capable political class of people. Like, I have no interest in office. I have no interest running for office. She doesn't. We're just not. That's not our sphere. But we would like to have good people in there, and we can help pave the path for those people when they start to listen. Right now, they're not listening. Well, they're not listening, but maybe those horns outside of Justin Trudeau's office might change that.
They're hard to ignore. Do you think the political elites have underestimated the anger and frustration in the country?
Oh, big time.
You mentioned that you want to meet the leader of the Conservative Party, and it's certainly not Aaron
Yeah, whoever
O'Toole.
that is. Yeah.
Whoever that is. There's been a few MPs that have come out to meet with the convoy, and a few MPs that have been quite vocally supportive of the convoy. Is there anyone that you would like to see lead the Conservative Party, if not Aaron O'Toole? Pierre?
Less than Pierre, maybe. I think if the Conservative Party is smart, which they're not, because I was a candidate in the past, so I know those people. Love some of them, but they're really not right. If they were smart, they would pull Aaron now, right now, get him out of there. They would put in an interim leader, whether it's Pierre or Leslin, and we all think that Pierre resonates with the vast majority of Canadians in his opposition to Justin Trudeau. He's been very effective. Would he be effective as a leader of the country? That I don't know, but definitely in opposition, he's been great. I think if they pulled Aaron immediately and they went into a snap election as quickly as they can, bring down the government, and they campaigned with an interim leader with the option of maybe running, I think his career would end very, very quickly. And if they don't, the fact that they don't see that opportunity in front of them is crazy to me. And it's so plainly obvious.
Thanks.
We're kind of here today with Aaron O'Toole because Canada lacks true political accountability. We don't have recall legislation. We don't have public primaries. Do you think that really in order for this to not be in this situation again, where a lot of Canadians, millions of Canadians, really don't have a voice in Parliament? Do you think that significant reforms have to be made to our political or electoral system?
I'm going to say a very unconservative thing and say yes. Yes, we are living with not quite a medieval system, but we are living with an antiquated system that needs to be somewhat modernized. I think I have learned so much from this woman about the Native communities and the Native experience in Canada. And, as conservatives, we're often, I don't want to say dismissive, but we just don't understand their experience that they have. But I think they're indicative of exactly what you're talking about, that we need to modify the system somewhat, make it more open, more transparent, because right now it's run by lobbyists, and the lobbyists control who becomes a candidate for whichever, but it's not unique to any party, it's all of them. So yeah, I think I agree with you 100%.
You just raised a point too about Canadians lacking a voice. So here's the dirty secret about the Canadian government and the way it's represented. There's 100% of people in Canada who are allowed to vote. So that's everybody that's on the Canada Elections Act list. So you're registered voter, great, that's 100%. Justin Trudeau just became Prime Minister, and around 21% of registered voters in Canada voted for Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party. 80% of registered voters in Canada did not vote for Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party. Now, in fairness, 30% of them didn't vote at all, so that's their issue. But the reality is Justin Trudeau's mandate, as he calls it in Parliament, rests on the shoulders of 21% of Canadians. So when he talks about fringe minorities, my point to Mr. Trudeau would be, sir, you are the fringe minority, you are the 20%. It's the 80% of Canadians who you're not representing that have the problem. So the fringe minority is Prime Minister Trudeau, and that's Canada Elections Act numbers.
I have a more personal question for the two of you now. I've seen on Instagram, on Twitter, there's a lot of people calling you guys white supremacists. You said, you're Métis and you're Jewish. How does it personally feel to be attacked in that way? To be really called something that you're really not? Like, are you upset, angry? Did you not mind at all? Like, how do you feel about that?
For me, it's a combination between obnoxious and hysterical. It's sometimes it's the funniest thing ever, because I don't care. Like, I'm very pro free speech. People should be able to say whatever they want, and I have the choice whether or not I'm going to engage and respond or not. I don't need the government to control handle that for me, right? That's not their business. They're there not to protect us, they're there to protect our rights, which is what their negligence is, right? They've completely abandoned the charter, which is about our rights, and they think they're the ones there to coddle us. That's not their job. So yeah, it's hysterical and obnoxious. But me personally, I don't get upset. Now, that's me. However,
I haven't been paying attention, honestly. I know what they're saying, and I guess my father always said if they're talking about you, they're leaving somebody else alone. And I know who I am, and obviously they're stretching, right? Because they don't know me. They don't know my background, right? And I know this convoy has been a massive undertaking. I mean, all the logistics and everything that has to be worked out, I choose not to even read it or look at it. Every time somebody will text me something, and I just tell them stop. Like, we have to be focused. We have a big job to do here, and I'm not going to let the negativity affect it.
And it's also the
we just got the biggest convoy in history out here safely with him leading it. You know what I mean? So we have to stay focused, and we have to stay
Just
on
a couple of logistic questions on that. How many people are, two in particular, how many people would you say are part of your core organizational team or committee?
Oh, no, it's big.
Oh.
How many? Between the control
road
center
captains,
and
we have roughly about 2 road captains per province. So there's them. Then, of course, we have a social media team. You have to understand, we had to put together an organization very, very quickly. So there is so many people involved.
It's roughly 2 weeks.
Yes.
I think, is it fair to say the core group is about 40 to 50 people?
Yes. Yeah.
If you go out one chain of command,
And is that core group including your captains?
Yes.
Okay.
Then
So
you go out one circle of analysis, you go into hundreds. Because there's all kinds of people who are volunteering to do work. So at the truck stop, Herb's Travel Plaza in Van Cleek Hill, a whole bunch of people doing the adopt a trucker thing. And a lot of those people just took it upon themselves to say, okay, what do you need? I'll help, I'll organize, I'll print posters, I'll do this. So there's kind of core group, first layer of analysis, or first layer of chain of command, if you will, out. And then beyond that, there's the third layer, which goes into the thousands and no one knows. By way of interest, I mean, the Sikh community, Jagmeet Singh has made some of the most vicious comments ever about white supremacists and all this. The organization did the thing they called the three of us, myself, Ben, and Tamara, white supremacists, I just put on record, is funded by Justin Trudeau, so enough of that. But I've noticed the Sikh community is out in huge numbers at all the truck stops, handing out food, handing out blankets, and it's like, it's organic. It's coming from the Sikh community. It's not coming from the convoy. Nonetheless, they're a part of the team, so. There, like I said, there's like multiple layers of people helping out.
And what Chris wants to also comment on is go to adoptatrucker.ca. It's adopt-a-trucker.ca. People have been volunteering their homes and their beds for truckers who need a place to stay or food or whatever. That's really the conduit space where they can go to if they want to, contribute their house overnight, if they have something they want to contribute. Also registration forms for more trucks who want to come, because at some point we need to start getting them on a database. We have a bunch of them now. I don't know how many tens of thousands. We stopped counting because we just got overloaded. So that's going to be the conduit where people will be able to communicate and donate their homes and food.
It's just my if I can, the other logistic question, the most controversial, contentious thing that will ever be discussed, the count. Have you been given from law enforcement? Do you have your own count of vehicles or people?
We lost track.
I've been trying to get the road captains all in one room this whole entire week. It's like herding cats.
When we separated, we gave Ontario the shill for the North Road on Highway 11. We gave the 17th. We had 480 vehicles in the South Road. Well, imagine that the group of us are splitting in two, so we're roughly 1,000 vehicles coming across from the west.
And that's just one small convoy.
100 kilometers long.
Starting with how many hotel rooms are there in Ottawa?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? And you laugh. That is the indicator, because we were on the phone with some of these, supporting role for all of us, and a couple of them were on the phone, looking at hotels to hotels to book, and in real time they were watching hotel by hotel being booked up. Yeah. So that's got to tell you something, right?
You asked a question about whether this is a political moment or a cultural moment. At the moment, it's a global cultural moment. Just by way of explanation, I'm ex-military, ex-intelligence. I worked for the RCMP for 7 years as an intelligence contractor, doing counterterrorism and investigations into politicians and
Host
judges.
of the Quiggin Report podcast, by the way. Go to thequigginreport.com. Like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, I'm also ex-PCO. I used to work for the Intelligence Assessment Secretariat, which provides intelligence advice to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. So I'm part of that group. But I've got and I'm also an ex-central banker. I did risk analysis for the G10 central bank. So I am getting things from around the world, from Australian journalists, risk advisors for major European financial institutions. What prompted me to talk is I know a guy who's an actual samurai. Not some guy who thinks he's a samurai, but an actual sword-carrying samurai. And he saw the picture of the clan mothers this morning. So you've got samurai supporting this. It's just unreal. Convoys in Europe, convoys in Italy, convoys in Australia. Donald Trump, God bless his heart, came out yesterday at a rally and said, did you see those Canadian truckers? They're doing more for freedom in America than American leaders are doing for freedom in America. And you're just kind of like, okay, here we go. It is a global cultural movement which is pushing back against Build Back Better, against cultural Marxism, against progressivism, against Klaus Schwab, against Bill Gates, against the World Economic Forum. For everybody that says the Great Reset and all that stuff is a hoax, there is a book called COVID-19 and the Great Reset written by Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum. Just so you know, Prime Minister Trudeau on his website supports the Great Reset. Our beloved Minister of Finance, also known as our Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chrystia Freeland, is on the Board of Trustees of the World Economic Forum. So when people say, I don't understand where Trudeau's going, what's he doing, why does he do all these things? There's an agenda. It's the progressive agenda, it's the post-national agenda, it is the Build Back Better agenda of Mr. Biden, the American president, and Kamala Harris, the vice president. So what you've accidentally done or deliberately done or whatever, Tamara, she helped organize my tour in Alberta, which is how I got mixed up with this. We don't all wind up in jail. Anyway, we have put a finger, I think, on the pulse of the people of the world. So I made that comment to you about Justin Trudeau as the minority because he represents 21%. Every other country has the same problem. What's being represented here, I think, is the 80% who are tired of being voiceless, tired of being told they're bad, tired of being told to shut up, and tired of being told they're going to be restricted. And what you've done is you hit the moment at the perfect time.
If you had some final words to not politicians or media, but to Canadians who may or may not support this convoy, why are you doing it in just a few sentences?
We're doing it because we need change. We need to be unified for the first time. And we need to understand the enemy is not each other, whether it be our religion or race or culture. That's not the enemy. We're all a unified country. The enemy, or the problem, let's say, is the political class who are pushing us into serfdom. And if you don't speak up now and you don't get engaged, this is not going to end. And this is your opportunity. Whether they completely understand or they're pro-vaccine or they're anti-vaccine, that's not the point. The point is your basic freedoms. And if you want to maintain your basic freedoms, this is the movement that is there for you to grasp, to help.
Thank you.
Just one more quick thought on the global cultural movement you talked.
Good evening, Canada, Freedom Family. This is Selena Paley, and I'm reporting live from Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Ontario. As you can see behind me, we have the beautiful Parliament buildings. We're in Ottawa, Ontario tonight, reporting live with Freedom Convoy 2022. As you can see, we have the lovely Rideau Canal in behind. We have some Canadians skating. This is a very popular pastime that a lot of tourists and Canadians and citizens of Ottawa do here is skate down the Rideau Canal. It's perfect weather for this with the lovely Parliament buildings in the background. Ottawa really truly is a beautiful city. And I don't know if you can see over here to the left, there is a gathering of vehicles down here. And we're going to go head down there and have a chat with them. I believe they've been sitting there parked for some time without the ability to gas up and get fuel. So the reason for this live today is because we have heard several reports now from truckers who are unable to get fuel to them. So we have been trying, and by we, I mean the organizers of the truck convoy, have been trying to get fuel to the truckers and have been unsuccessful. And I believe they are being prevented in doing so. So we just want to alert everyone to this unfortunate circumstance, because it is minus 20 outside. It's going to be snowing for several days now in the forecast, big snowfalls, and we want to ensure that we're not leaving our truckers and in some cases their wives are with them, their girlfriends, their families, their dogs, their pets, in their trucks without the ability to stay warm. I realize the trucks are here in protest, but there are still human beings inside those trucks. And we want to make sure that, even though this is a peaceful protest, that the response to the peaceful protest still remains humane. And by humane, I mean not withholding fuel and the ability for them to stay warm. It is winter. It's very cold. We want to ensure the city, is reminded that the proper thing to do in response to a protest of this magnitude is to work cooperatively together, diplomatically and respectfully, which is how we've governed ourselves this entire time, and how the truckers and the organizers have also gathered themselves this entire time. We sit here and bring you live coverage from the Freedom Convoy 2022 protest against vaccine mandates and all mandates, really. And so far it's been an enjoyable experience. We've seen a lot of smiles and a lot of hugs and a lot of freedom loving Canadians celebrating the ability to just be themselves and not be guided by restriction after restriction and rule after rule, which don't make any sense. So, and on that note, I just want to implore the viewers that are watching, our fellow Canadians, and especially the city of Ottawa, that, we still need to ensure that we're treating each other respectfully and humanely. And given the temperatures outside, I think the proper thing to do at this point is to ensure that those truckers still get fuel as we may move forward with negotiations, as we move forward in dialogue, respectful dialogue, diplomatic dialogue. We don't need to be inhumane towards each other, and we certainly do not want to withhold fuel from our truckers so that they can stay warm in the temperatures. From the viewer's perspective, how do we feel about this act of withholding fuel, and now coming out saying that the truckers, or not the truckers, but the trucks themselves are weapons, and therefore the fuel is also a weapon. So therefore we can withhold fuel because fuel and trucks are now weapons, those dangerous motors, look out. But, in all respects, to the politicians that are in control right now of how we move ahead in these negotiations, I'm of the mindset that, we still need to treat each other well and with respect. So please ensure that fuel is getting to those truckers so that they can stay warm, and everyone can work peacefully together. So we're gonna walk over the Rideau Canal here. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. This microphone was giving me a bit of grief earlier, and I apologize for that. Yes. Yeah, there is a police blockade over this bridge by Confederation Park. So this is Confederation Park. And Rideau Canal over there. Yeah, very beautiful. Beautiful city. Yes. Yeah. It is really chilly. It is very chilly out here. Oh, look, you guys, it's Freedom George.
Freedom!
Freedom George,
Hey,
how are you
guys.
tonight?
I'm pretty good. It's cold out here. I got some soup though. We're gonna head down there and take you guys down there.
All
now
right,
to go get some soup.
let's go get some soup. So, George, what is going on down there in Confederation Park?
There's just a bunch of food trucks and stuff down there. There's a big pile of firewood and such. A bunch of people hanging out, and they're giving away food down there. A whole bunch of different food.
So
good things are helping people out.
are those freedom loving Canadians down there?
Oh yeah, these guys are ready to go.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, let's go down and let's see what's happening down there. Thanks for joining us, you guys, tonight. It's Selena and now Freedom George reporting live from the beautiful Ottawa, Ontario, with Freedom Central Canada. We're so glad that you're joining us tonight, where we can bring you some uncensored, unedited live coverage of Freedom Convoy 2022 in Canada. Share and like. If you like the content, please share and like. Share and like and share. Okay, we're gonna head down there and see what's what. Cody, can you make it through here? Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna fall on my butt here. Treacherous condition. Okay, so far so good. Yes, good job, Cody. Good job. Okay. Oh yeah, look, they have a fire going on down here. Oh, I would love some soup, Cody. How about you?
I would. I'm excited to see what they all got down here. Looks like there's a good group of folks.
How's everybody doing tonight on this lovely day? I think we're in February. Are we in February now?
February 1st, I believe it is. We have made it.
We made it to February 1st. Happy February, everyone. Hi, guys. Okay, let's head over there. Talk to some people. Again, we are just off the Rideau, beautiful Rideau Canal, and in Confederation Park near Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Ontario. Hi there. Hello. Oh, where's that fire? I think it's probably where everyone is gathering over here, right? Let's go talk to some people, shall we? George. Hi there. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing?
We're alive.
Yes, we're alive and we're doing well.
Kicking. What kind of main screen you got?
Well, I'm Selena and this is Cody Kuntz and we're with Freedom Central Canada. So we run a Freedom Loving social media page.
Good.
May have heard of us, maybe not.
Yeah, I heard.
Fuck le go.
Yeah.
Yes, you're from Quebec. I see that. Yes, that's right. So what brings you guys out here?
Why we are here? For freedom. Exactly. Just for that. But we want to bring back our country. Us people, not the fucking government, not fucking Trudeau. We don't want to live in a dictatorship. No, we don't. We want to live free.
Self-governed.
Yeah, free or die. That's it.
Okay, so because you're from Quebec, I want to ask you about the news that came out today. How do you feel about François Legault
What kind of news?
backtracking on the vax tax?
Well, I know because he can do that. He can't because it's against the law. Yeah, unconstitutional.
You didn't hear what she said.
What?
You didn't hear what she said.
No, she says about the
Legault says that he's backing off the vaccine, the vaccine.
The tax on the
Vaccine
unvaccinated.
passport. Legault is starting to back off.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's no. I just thinking about
We don't hear fake news.
Yeah, we bring up to the minute news to Canadians. That's what
But it's true or
Yeah,
It's true.
And Trudeau is going to do the same thing.
oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a choice.
No, I know
you
he
ever
doesn't.
try move one of them trucks?
Nope.
Okay, me neither. But I know that it's not easy.
Oh
And
no,
now
it's
you got
not.
1,000.
Well,
I love the Quebecers. I love Quebecers.
Do you
Je
see?
t'aime, Quebecers.
Do you see some truck? It's chains together. They can't move that fucking truck.
They chained the trucks together.
I saw that. Yes.
They move one truck, they got 1,000 of them coming after them. So, what do you do? You can't.
What do you do?
What do? I wait and I see I'm waiting for Trudeau to say no to the vax pass, and I'm waiting also for the fucking American down there to say the same thing.
Okay, so
because the problem is that the Americans and the Trudeaus are doing the same fucking thing.
they seem to be copying each other.
Exactly.
That's right.
They didn't.
Okay,
Everybody
that's
says
okay.
fuck a lot.
That's okay. It's a family show. That's all right. Oh, whoops. We'll beep that. Beep beep. Okay. So Trudeau came out yesterday. I believe he made a statement. Of course, his statement is that we're okay. Well, we're not terrorists, but basically he's hanging on very tightly to these vaccination mandates. He's pushing the vaccine, even though he has COVID. He's still saying, the vaccine. Like it's just so repetitive.
He doesn't have COVID. He was tested positive with COVID, and he is tested, but he doesn't. The tests are no good. So we don't know if he really has it or if he's hiding behind the screen of the fake tests. Because we not only have fake news, but we also have fake tests. And the tests that my brother was tested negative, then he was tested positive, then he was tested negative again. And finally they let him out.
I heard that Orange Crush will test positive as well.
Look at me. I'm 63 years old. I never was tested for 2 years. Never, ever, never get sick. I was going on all like this. You know what I mean?
Well, Trudeau.
Never sick. Never get sick. What's going on with that fucking COVID?
I have taken note of that as well. Can you back up just a little bit? We have taken note of that as well, that, in this environment where we're very close to one another, we're not masked, we're not vaxxed, we are COVID free, we're healthy, we've remained healthy this whole time as well. But why do you think that some of the population is not acknowledging that?
Because it's hypnotism. You know what I mean? Hypnotism. It's just brainwashing. That's it. That's all. And he's just watching TV. He didn't look on the internet. That's the problem. Soon, when you look at the internet and you can see the lie, you know what I mean? The lie is on the mainstream.
What is your name, sir?
Claude.
Claude. Okay, it was very nice talking to you today, Claude. Merci beaucoup. All right, we're going to move on. I believe this gentleman would like to talk to us as well. Are you from Quebec as well?
Yes, I'm from Quebec.
Nice to meet you. What is your name, sir?
I'm Pascal. Yeah.
How do you say "c'est m'a fait plaisir"?
That you said it.
Okay.
Oui.
M'a fait plaisir.
Oui.
Okay. What would you like to talk about today?
Well, you were talking about Trudeau. The last question you asked to my friend. And Trudeau said that the only way is through vaccination. But what we found is that lots of countries find out that naturally we can go out because it's going from the pandemic to the endemic stage. So there's no point to vaccine everybody. So that's the natural course of the evolution. It's so we're getting out of it, if you want or not, without the mandates. That's going to be fine. So that's a part of the answer for that question. Yeah.
And when we saw that tax being unanimously passed through by Legault and his cronies, if you will, we knew there was a serious problem on our hands. It had escalated very quickly, but Quebecers and especially those in Montreal answered back, as Quebecers do, with a lot of passion and a lot of vigor, and you guys were successful. Were you surprised to learn that Legault had backtracked on the vax tax?
Well, not really, because they always play that game. They try to push you, and if you accept, well, they win. But if they feel that you don't accept, they backtrack. So it's always like that. That's why we need to stand up all together, peacefully but firmly.
Can you repeat that, mais en français this time?
Oui, en fait, c'est que ce soit Legault ou Trudeau, ils essayent d'imposer une mesure. Puis, dans le fond, ils poussent la population juste un peu à chaque fois. Puis le problème, c'est que si tu te fais pousser un peu puis tu dis rien, ben, tu te ramasses finalement, après beaucoup de temps, dans le coin. Puis tu te demandes pourquoi tu te ramasses dans le coin comme ça. Ben, c'est parce que la première fois qu'on t'a poussé, t'as accepté puis t'as rien dit. Donc, c'est à nous à reprendre notre pouvoir puis en fait à faire le travail que Trudeau devrait faire, c'est-à-dire protéger la Constitution canadienne. arrêter de violer l'article 2, l'article 6 sur la libre circulation des personnes à l'intérieur du pays puis à l'extérieur. Tout ça sous faux prétexte, parce que dans le fond, on aurait pu comprendre que ces mesures-là soient pas imposées, disons, 3 mois, ce qui aurait été même très long. OK? Mais maintenant, il n'y a plus de justification pour les mesures d'urgence depuis longtemps. Donc, c'est eux qui ont le fardeau de la preuve. Puis les gens, les gens le voient et le sentent que c'est ça on n'est plus dans un état d'urgence, en fait.
Merci, merci. Je parle français un peu, mais je ne parle français aussi bien que vous. I could never say it like you, but that was very well said. Thank you, because we have a lot of Quebecers viewing now, or a lot of French viewers, so we appreciate that very much. Say merci in the comments to our friend Pascal, everybody.
From Sutton, Quebec.
Sutton, Quebec. Okay, well, we love our Quebec friends. We love our Montreal friends. We're here for you. Absolutely everyone in Quebec. Now that you have seen Canada come together and unite over this. You look old enough, about my age, to remember the years when Quebec wanted to separate, when we had Bouchard and those guys trying to separate Quebec. How has that separation, that agreement now with Canada worked for you? And would you still say that it's serving Quebecers well?
The independence of Quebec? Well, if the independence will serve Quebec, that's something that first it's harder and harder for Quebec to be independent those days. But if it's going to serve Quebec or not, we'll never know. Until it's done or not. But it's hard to say but anyway, right now the time is to unite because we have a common enemy of the state, and it's our government who betrayed us. So in that, we're finding that we have more in common. It's bye.
Hey, salut.
Salut. Au revoir.
We are not a fringe minority, but we're people in Canada. We have more in common. Okay, and those reasons are more important right now than this old debate. But of course, if things go back to what it was before, those things can come back. But for now, that's for sure that we need to unite on freedom, because first, you need freedom to do anything that you want, to stay together or to separate. So freedom first.
Yeah.
Very well said.
To that, like one thing that's not being said very much, the problem is the Constitution. When Quebec wanted to separate, it wasn't to separate the French and the English. It was to rewrite a new constitution so we could live and emancipate ourselves in our own country, in Quebec, just like the rest of Canada needs. And today we're realizing that what's stopping us is our constitution, which was written by ancient people in a monarchy, and it doesn't fit today's world. And Trudeau, like his father, are not accepting that, and they're not understanding that we need to rewrite the constitution. And that's what we're all here about, and that's the only way we'll ever get freedom. Right. Real freedom is if we rewrite our constitution.
And we see that Trudeau is holding on to this power, this ability to circumvent our constitution for all provinces, and it's not something that we can continue to tolerate, not on those levels.
It's not acceptable because it can create a precedent, okay? And it's have to be the exception, not the norm, that we violate the Constitution. And this is why it's I really find that Trudeau it's not a good person profoundly, because his first role is to protect the Constitution from foreign enemies and from inside too. But it's for me that the Constitution, there's great things in there, and we need to recognize what is good, and because it's hard for civilization to be in a democracy or to thrive towards that. It's an exception, not the rule. So people from other countries, like we knew communism, they see what happened and they are afraid because they know how hard can this become, yeah. And the vaccine passport and all that, and the intrusion in your private life. So yeah,
you have pretty much hit on all points there. And I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for speaking with us this evening. You know, we haven't really had much opportunity to get the views from the Quebecers, from you guys. So thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. And yes, absolutely. It's so nice that we can come together. Thank you very much. All right. So we'll just head on over here. And is there anything that you would like to add, Cody?
Oh, live on Facebook. I saw you in the corner. It says live. He's from BC.
Oh, we have a BC. There, you came all the way from BC. Oh, did you? Whereabouts? Kimberley, BC. Were you with the convoy? Okay. Would you like to come talk to us? Would you like to come and chat with us? Okay, we'll chat with this gentleman right here as well. So you came all the way from Kimberley, BC, and you're standing amongst your Canadian friends. We've got people from Quebec here, all over Canada. You know, how are you feeling about where we stand today in Canada?
It's all I can say, it's an unbelievable experience to drive out here with a convoy and see tens of thousands of people standing on the Trans-Canada, minus 35, women, children, farmers, waiting for hours, cheering us on. I'll never forget it.
Are you a trucker?
No, I'm not a trucker. My wife and I came out in a cargo van and we slept in that, but it was worth every minute of it.
It is amazing. You know, the feeling that we are getting from all Canadians participating far and wide, you know, that are in the country, that participated in the convoy, that are maybe
Bullshit.
Well, we've been told, we've been getting several reports from the truckers that they're not allowing some of them to get fuel. How do you feel about the city of Ottawa prohibiting us from being, the trucker organizers from being able to keep fuel in the trucks to keep our truckers warm?
I think it's an absolute disgrace. I mean, for one thing, all the truckers that come out here to protest peacefully, that's their home. They're having fuel means they're having a warm place to stay and be a little bit comfortable. You can't even find a toilet in the city since they locked everything, and they're making it, the city itself, just from what I gather, making it extremely difficult to have any kind of a little bit of comfort for the truckers and the people that support it all.
Why do you think that the city is choosing to take this approach to negotiations, not allowing them fuel, closing everything up, as opposed to just having some open, respectful dialogue?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the politics here in Ontario or in this city, but obviously they're in bed with the federal government, and that's about all I can say. It's sad.
Yes. Do you think that the city of Ottawa could do themselves serve themselves well by allowing at least the fuel to get to the truckers so that they can stay warm in these sub-zero temperatures?
Well, that's just one thing. I mean, they should just make it as comfortable as possible for people to. It's our right to.
And you know, we're gonna just continue to fight the good fight, and hopefully the city of Ottawa will come to their senses and let them bring fuel to the truckers so that they can stay warm. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And
So
keep on the good fight.
we're gonna keep on being good, because we're good, absolutely. So as you can see here, we are at Confederation Park, where the Rideau Canal is just there, where there are some Canadians skating, having a good time. Yep. We which way do you want to go? Go ahead. Yep. Just gotta watch our step. Oh,
You
yeah.
said something about Legault.
I'll be right back.
It's not the back. It's the back
Tax, yeah.
that he cut out. The Vax Pass is still there.
Correct. Yes, the Vax Pass is still in Quebec. It's the Vax tax that they backtracked on. Absolutely. So there are food trucks here. Thanks for staying with us, by the way, everyone. I know that was a lot of dialogue, but we haven't really had a chance to talk with our Quebec friends, and that was really special. I really enjoyed hearing it in French too. So just to give those of you just joining us right now, we're live from Ottawa, Ontario, Freedom Convoy 2022. It's Selena Paley reporting live. I have Cody Kuntz here with me and the lovely Lilo with Freedom Central Canada. We're here at Confederation Park near the Rideau Canal. We have some folks that have set up. We've got food trucks. We have a camp. There's a fire set up. There's a lovely, gathering of community people here having nice conversations. We have our lovely men in lime green this evening. Hi, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great night. We do respect them as they are doing a tough job standing out here in the cold alongside us. And, it's just every time we meet these people. Cody, let's talk to you for a little bit. I'm going to turn the camera on you. Cody, how do you feel about the conversations that we're having with the people here?
I think these people, from all different backgrounds, all different lives, all different jobs, all different careers, coming together to unite as one big family, one big group of people is really what we need in Canada. We need to unite together and just stand up for these truckers, stand up for Canadians, stand up for our children. It doesn't matter, what life of background you are. I think this is all something we can all get behind. And I'm just thankful that that we're here. As you guys can see, there is some food here. And we are, let's go. Be sure to like and share and follow us here at Freedom Central Canada. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. Looks like they got some hot dogs and burgers.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How much does this cost?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's free.
It's free.
Oh, it smells delicious. Should we have one, Cody?
Sure,
Okay.
let's do it.
All right.
It'll be ready. All right. We're just gonna finish up the burgers for you.
Perfect.
And what's your name, sir?
My name's Glenn.
Where are you from, Glenn?
Hamilton, Ontario.
Hamilton. No, sorry. Hamilton. Sorry.
Hamilton.
What brings you out here today?
The convoy. I'm a truck driver, so just here to help support.
Well, we really do appreciate your support. How many burgers have you served up today, Glenn?
We actually just started barbecuing again today, so no, none today. We're just, we'll be here for the next several days.
What's life like being a trucker? Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm sorry, what's it?
As a trucker, what's that like?
Me personally, I was a local truck driver, so I was home every night. Not like some of these long haulers that are gone for days, weeks at a time. So for me, it wasn't bad. I personally happen to like being by myself, and it just kind of works well for me.
How have these mandates affected you?
It's affected all of us in every different way. I don't really need to be specific on how it's affected us mentally. For the most part, it's not really about me. It's about my kids, grandkids, and so on. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this.
Do you have any questions for him, Cody?
I don't think so. I can hardly speak.
We're so hungry, and those burgers smell delicious. So we're gonna serve us up some. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. It's just like the community-minded, the community spirit. Just people coming together as a community from different provinces, far and wide, for the same goal. Again, that collective love, it's in the air. Would you agree, Cody?
I would. It's just super awesome to see, like I said, people from all different backgrounds here just to support their kids and to, really just enjoy everybody. And as we can see, look at this bus with all the signatures on it. People have been signing it. People have been showing their love. And that is the Canada Unity Bus. So let's go check it out.
Nope. Negative. Do not go look in there.
I just wanted to show them writing on
Oh,
the
cool.
side.
Yeah. Don't show us that. There's a bunch of people in there doing it.
Yeah, because they're a bit frozen.
Yeah.
David 1 Terry Fox statue? That one doesn't look like the one from the photo I saw.
I got to get out to stretch my legs and get a coffee. Will I be able to get back into this chat later? I know there's been problems with, people getting the boot or whatever.
There's a Terry Fox statue in Thunder Bay too.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any problem getting back into the chat. You've been a really good boy all day. But yes, you shouldn't have any issues coming back into the chat later. Do go away, get something to eat, get warm, and we'll be here for you.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. I just got booed from the other site. Could somebody answer my question?
Ooh, guys, big news from the border. 1 second. Basically, you're a bunch of fucking hicks.
Thank you for everything, guys. You guys are awesome.
Again, as we continue to cover this event, you heard a lot of people talking, interview, so you can hear them disagree what is happening. So on the background video, you can see the file up of trucks that are coming to Canada. So this is the border from Peace Bridge Authority, somewhere in, I just forgot the place. didn't state it, but this camera is being captured 24/7, so you can access it if you like. Probably some people are been so tired for a long day event, so maybe some of them, especially those who are having live, they were already going home. So some of them, but I think some of them are here watching. So GOBs, never give up. Thank you so much. So they said never give up. Never give up. Anyway, okay, what else? Some live. Okay, there's some live from Bidstorm. Bidstorm is doing live stream since the convoy arrives in Ottawa. So they were there, even though it's very cold. Actually, it's very cold. So we were there last Saturday in Ottawa, and we witnessed and how many people are there in Ottawa last Saturday. Again, okay, let's find another live stream that I can share it to you.
It's really, really hot. Okay, let's go.
Oh, striking. Sige. Okay, you don't want to, okay. So it's up. That's not good. We don't not. I will not tolerate that kind of things. So I'm sorry. We have to remove you or hide you. So this is not the place for you. Okay? So maybe you can transfer. not this place. Okay? So you're welcome here if you do good, but if you're going to be a bad person, sorry. We will not allow you. Okay? Okay. So okay. So what's that? Mm-hmm. Okay, there are some here live stream here that we can okay for your updates. Mm-hmm. It's only what time is it? Oh, it's going to be 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm.
No protest. Show them who we are. Like, we will not back down, guys.
Lako. Oo. This is bad because the music is not good. Okay. The music is not good anyway. So maybe that's all for now. Probably. And we can be back tomorrow for more updates in Ottawa. And I think this will be well, it will last probably. It will last on until next week. We don't know. So until such time, the government will have a face-to-face dialogue with them. So let's see what will happen. Okay. My goodness. So here's some. Okay, let's watch
Bonne
this.
journée, merci beaucoup. Thanks. Les lumières viennent d'allumer. On va continuer par là-bas, Véro. Attends, c'est bon.
The problem now is the music. The music. It's the music hit the problem. So you see people are still there even though it's cold. So they're in front of the Parliament building. So we were there last Saturday, and we have footage also. I played it this afternoon, and then probably tomorrow I'll play it again for you. So anyway, maybe that's all for now, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Hope you're okay. Have a good night. Have a good day. Bye-bye for now. This is DGUE from Canadian Pinoy Radio Montreal, live in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.